And joining me now with more is Assia Grazioli, Venier, founding partner of venture capital firm Muse Capital. Assia, great to have you on the show this morning, joining us from Greece. Love that, going abroad for this show. And Caitlin Clark, look, I'm amazed by her. Unfortunately, she couldn't suit up for this game due to injury. But what were your biggest takeaways from the excitement over the weekend?
Thank you for having me. It was an extraordinary weekend, and it wasn't just a celebration in and of itself. It was proof that we are undergoing a rapid growth for women's sports. I mean, there were 4 million viewers tapping in to watch the weekend's festivities, a sold-out stadium of 17,000 fans in the stadium, and it was just the energy was electric.
Yeah, look, Clark was still a captain. I am a big fan of Clark. She's done incredible things for women's basketball. And the WNBA adding 3 more teams, in fact, with those ownership groups paying about $250 million each. How do you see this surge in demand reshaping the valuation landscape when it comes to women's sports franchises?
I mean, it's an immense growth. We're seeing $1.3 billion in revenue generated just last year, and that is only growing. As you said, there are new franchises coming out, and franchise sales themselves are 180%, or growing 180% year on year. So we're really seeing a boom. And then let's not forget the new media rights deal that was struck for the WNBA, which is an 11-year deal. Some say actually the $2.2 billion number is too low, and some say that there will have to be an inevitable reevaluation of that. But that is all really a massive growth since I first got involved in women's sports in 2017, when we launched Juventus Women, the women's soccer team for one of the storied Italian soccer teams. And then I invested in Washington Spirit in 2020. At that time, it was $5 million in valuation. And today we're seeing teams like Angel City at $250 million valuation plus. So this market is booming. People are finally starting to catch up. And it's a big opportunity. Women themselves represent one of the largest growing opportunities commercially out there. We control $20 trillion globally, $7 trillion in the U.S. alone, and this is an opportunity that investors are now finally picking up on. Mm-hmm. We at Muse Sport have been investing in this space since 2017 and advising in this space since 2017. But people are finally realizing that this is undeniable, that they have to catch on. If you haven't caught on by now, you're living under a rock.
Yeah, look, I think the ticket sales speak for themselves. Sold out stadiums, arenas. I mean, 3-fold increases in some cases for some of these ticket prices. I know you were touching on your business a little bit there, Assia. Obviously an advisory business. Muse Sport provides capital support partnerships to some of these emerging properties. How does your firm balance passion with business fundamentals before determining investments into some of these franchises?
Well, actually, our core investment platform is Muse Capital, and we invest in early-stage consumer technology businesses across the future of how we care, live, and play. Play being, of course, the future of entertainment. The care component, however, has become a real big element of what we do, and that is really investing across the women's healthcare ecosystems over the last 8 years, when even that was considered niche, just as women's sports was considered something that nobody wanted to watch. Both women's healthcare and women's sports are booming, and I have been saying for many, many years that there is a real parallel conversation between those two things, because you can't have best-in-class sports and best-in-class performance and a best-in-class product in sports unless you are giving women access to best-in-class healthcare initiatives. And so we invest in things like hormone testing, which is essential to understand how our bodies work when we are more inclined to be injured or not, for example, and also in the fertility space. Not sure if anybody saw, but the Tennis Association just allowed women athletes to hold their rankings while they're undergoing egg freezing. I like to think that we had a little bit to do with that when we introduced Maria Sharapova to one of our fertility companies, co-fertility, and they created a campaign that really tried to shed light on women female athletes going through fertility treatment. So it's been really great to watch our early stage innovations thrive in parallel with our advisory platform, Muse Sport, and seeing those two really speak to each other in complementary ways.
Assia, I wish we had more time. Thank you so much for joining us. What's probably later in the day for you there in Greece, but I hope you'll come back. Phenomenal conversation. That's Assia Grazioli Venier. She's a founding partner of Muse Capital. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.